Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to week 7 of, oh my gosh, where'd I go? Welcome to week 7. This week in our North House book, we will be looking at chapters 10 and 11. We are talking about in chapter 10 servant leadership, and in chapter 11 adaptive leadership. Chapter 10 servant leadership. The book will tell you that this is a bit of a conundrum, because how can you be a servant and how can you be a leader? How can you be a follower and how can you be a leader? But it's more showing you how, as a servant leader, you are serving your organization and you are doing what you need to do for the good of that organization and for the good of your followers. This is the leader who will get down in the mud, so to speak, and doing the job of the follower to make sure that the job gets done no matter what. They are a servant of sorts. The book will tell you that it originated in the early 70s, but it wasn't until more recent decades that research was really done related to the topic of servant leadership. And people were looking more into the topic of servant leadership to see how can you be a servant and how can you be a leader? How can you be the one willing to get into the mud but also lead? And it does show us how you can be one of the followers and also be an effective leader. So we're going to be talking about servant leadership. I love the book. I say it every week. But we're also going to be talking about the 10 characteristics of a servant leadership. So it really digs into the topic. Listening, empathy, healing, awareness, persuasion, conceptualization, foresight, stewardship, commitment to the growth of the people, and building community. So it is a fascinating leadership theory, and I know you're going to get so much from reading this. And I'm excited to hear how you interpret it and how you liken it to the other leadership theories that we've been talking about. Maybe transformational. How do you liken it to transformational, but how do you see the differences between the two theories? So I hope you will reach out and tell me your thoughts on it. And as always, the book talks about the behaviors you're going to see, the attributes. I just love this book. It also talks about the strengths and the criticisms, as always. Again, another point about this book that I like, because wherever you have somebody who's an advocate, you're going to have some people who are critiquing it. And we need that. We need to hear the pros and cons. We need that little devil's advocate perspective so that somebody is questioning it. Because then questioning it, they can either prove or disprove or grow with the theory. Because you'll notice as we talked through this book, some theories were theorized by somebody back in this decade, but then more recent decades, people have built upon it. And that's what's great about these theories, that people are still researching them and looking at them and trying to make them better and bring about more related to the theory. And of course, it has the applications for you. I love that aspect of the book. And then we're going to be talking about adaptive leadership. And I was reading the first chapter, and adaptive leadership focuses on the adaptations required of people in response to changing environments. And one of the courses you might have, one of the courses you will have is depending on your concentration, I apologize, depending on your concentration, you may have organizational development and change. And you will want to reference back here, because this is the adaptive leadership style that is helping the stakeholders within your organization deal with the change. Let me read this again. Adaptive leadership focuses on the adaptations required of people in response to changing environments. So this is a leadership style that you might want to pull out of your hat of tricks or box of tricks, whatever you want to call it, when you're dealing with change, because we know that not every leadership style works in every situation. Not every leadership style works on each individual. So if your organization is going through change, you may need to become this adaptive leader. So this is going to be one chapter that you might want to reach back to if you're in the organizational development course, if that's part of your concentration, and think about it from the adaptive leadership perspective. Again, it talks about the leadership behaviors that are related to this leadership style. Dealing with the people. And then leadership is always dealing with the people. But dealing with people when they are going through change can be very, very challenging. And again, we'll talk more about that in organizational change and development. But even when you go through change in your life, this may be a leadership style that you want to switch to in order to help people going through your change in your personal life. This can help you. I always ask, what have you learned that you can use in your professional, personal, and academic life? And as always, as I mentioned with the other chapter, you have your criticisms on it and your applications. I think those are two really exciting chapters, and I feel you're really going to appreciate them and gain from them. And I wanted to remind you of the materials and resources that we have. If reading the book is not enough for you, or maybe reading is not the best way you take in the information, we have our PowerPoints here. We have some videos for you on both leadership styles and some other items for you to read. So please, I hope you're checking out these supplemental materials and resources. They can help you gain more than the textbook alone. They can also help you if your learning style is not necessarily one of reading just a textbook. These supplements are great. They really add to the value of what you are gaining from each chapter that you are going over. Again, I forgot to say, this is week 7. This is Thanksgiving. This is our Thanksgiving week. So whether you are heading out or just meeting family locally, whatever you're doing for the holiday, I hope it is very festive. I hope it is very fun. And please be safe. The college is closed Thursday, Friday, and Monday of week 8. But please reach out to me as you need me. And please have a wonderful, wonderful holiday.